course, is where we find Chelsea going to be playing Sheffield United on Saturday. Chelsea currently 12th on 19 points. Got some good reporting from our friend and colleague James Ollie over on the website, ESPN.com, saying that Chelsea are willing to part ways with everybody you see here on this full-screen graphic, all in the hope of landing their own striker. And they've been linked to some of the biggest names with the biggest sticker prices you can think. Ivan Toney and Victor Osimhen amongst them. Jules, let's start with you. Just do some economics for us. If they sold all those guys at a great rate, would it be enough to bring in the type of 9 Chelsea's looking for?
That's a very good question. That's the thing. I'm all for everybody here is for sale. Let's see how much money we can get. But at the end of the day, you can only, the value will not be set by you, Chelsea Football Club. It will be set by the offers that are going to come if some offers come on the table. And yeah, in the summer, they did really well to sell, the likes of Kai Havertz, for example. They also paid some players very much money, more probably than what they were worth it, the likes of Caicedo, for example. So it's always that kind of balance. And I think we can all say that they're not going to sell everybody, that's for sure, especially considering the form of some of those players and the season that they've had so far. And then, again, we go back to who is the number 9 they want. And by the way, I think a few months ago, when they were already in crisis, we were talking about, what can they do? And we said about how badly this squad has been built, and especially the lack of a striker. And we said, we all know exactly what they're going to do in January. They're going to sign a top striker, which they should have done not just last summer, not just the January before, but probably the summer even before. So here they are now. They need the money for it. I'm just not sure if that would be enough money for who, by the way. For an Osimhen? Would Napoli let an Osimhen go now? I don't think so. You try Vlahovic again, like you did in the summer. I'm not sure Juventus right now would be happy to sell him. So where do you go, by the way, to find that number 9? You go for Ivan Toney, who hasn't played football since, last May? So again, it's all good to want a number 9, but good luck as well to maybe find it.
Frank, who would you have Chelsea bring in?
Osimhen will be a very good target. But I'm with Jules. Before trying to sell players in order to buy a striker, well, you have to make a list of available players, available strikers, and players and strikers who will to come. And I'm not sure you're going to find anybody. Chelsea is not playing in the Champions League. Chelsea is 12 in the league. Who top strikers would like to come to play for Chelsea right now? None. I would be one of those. I would say no. I would laugh at it. And I say, are you kidding me? Do you respect me? Do you really think that Osimhen or anybody else, I don't have any names on top of it, who can be able to help Chelsea sorting all the problems out and with the team that they have? So, yeah, you can sell, players, and I have doubt that they're going to get the money that they're expecting. Because if we take an example for Cucurella, you bought him like for 60 million. How much do you think teams are ready to put out for a player like that? No, they're all going to go on loan because nobody wants to put a price, or the price would be ridiculous for those players. So they're not going to get the money for the striker. But the worst is they're not going to get a striker. Nobody wants to come.
Not to all bad news for Chelsea. Christopher Nkunku back in the squad, apparently, this weekend after the long-term injury layoff. We won't find Chelsea listed among the favorites to win the Premier League title. As we take a look at what the odds makers are saying. Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and City right there. Okay, City are still your favorites, yeah? My quick math is good there, despite the fact that they're in 4th. I know somebody that's not buying into that, and that's their manager, Pep Guardiola. Quote, the people say it's over for Man City, but we want to make them wrong and believe that still it's not over. We still want to be there challenging. Will we be able to? It depends on us, how we perform. The people, Frank. Are you one of the people that is counted out Manchester City?
I'm not one of the people, for sure. I mean, people have to learn their lesson. Last year, everybody thought that Arsenal will win the league. But we saw Manchester City coming back. So if you say now, that it's already over for Manchester City. You know nothing about football, and you know nothing about history of the Premier League. So I would never say that. I think people are wrong. It's too early to say that. And we know so much Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's team that we cannot say it's over for Manchester City. It's for sure not over. They're going to fight, and they're still the favorite, and rightly so for me.
Jules, you're a journo. You've covered Pep Guardiola. What's he doing here? What's he trying to do?
He's good, isn't it? There's nobody is saying that in England. I don't think anybody is saying that in the world. I mean, he made that up completely. This come out of nowhere. This is a big lie, big fat lie. But, you know, this is your narrative. Hey, it's another press conference. He gave another one 2 days ago, another one 4 days ago. And today was like, yeah, you don't believe in us anymore. Nobody has ever said that. Nobody, because like Frank says, they always come back at some point. The other day, he had a go at Gary Neville by saying, hey, we you know, if you ask me now, I tell you, we're going to win the title. And we're going to do what Gary Neville and anybody has never done before in the Premier League era, certainly, not Stevie's era, but the Premier League era, nobody has ever won 4 in a row. We're going to do that. And Gary Neville especially has never won 4 in a row. Calling him out like that when nobody asked, you know, what Gary Neville had to do in it. So, you know, it's Pep doing Pep things, really, and picking up his narrative. But those people are in his head. Nobody else. Nobody is telling that City are too far away now for the title.
Petty Pep Guardiola. What do you know? The people, Stevie, the people say it's over for Manchester City. Interesting quotes there from Pep Guardiola. Also some interesting comments this week from Jose Mourinho, who, Stevie, you'll be surprised, is talking about Pep Guardiola. So here's the connection from the now Roma manager. Quote, not that I'm jealous, but Man City paid 80 million euros for Calvin Phillips, and now Pep has said it would be better for him to leave. So he'll leave and they'll get someone else. Our reality is very different. It's not easy for us to sign one player. Stevie, Jose Mourinho is definitely not jealous of Pep Guardiola. He's not jealous. So what
Why would he say that then? I mean, it's just Mourinho all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, when he's at the top clubs, he wants more. Mm-hmm. And when he's not at the top clubs, he's not getting enough. I mean, we've heard, how many times have we heard this from Mourinho? Isn't it interesting that not that many people are interested in what he's got to say anymore? Let's be honest.
Fair enough. Jules, you agree? People aren't interested in what Mourinho has to say?
No, I mean, it's been the Mourinho show pretty much all season in Italy, in Serie A anyway. So when he doesn't talk, he speaks in Portuguese. You know, he has a go at everybody, the whole world. And today, clearly, again, his own narrative, he thought, hey, it's a good idea. Let's not forget Roma have spent a lot of money for him. They signed some big players. Okay, maybe not a player that ends up on the bench for 80 million. And by the way, Calvin Phillips was not 80 million. But, you know, Dybala and Lukaku, I think they went really far for him. To the point that he has to deliver Champions League football next season. Otherwise, they've been in trouble financially. And I think his contract comes to an end this summer. And maybe, in a way, him saying that, saying, hey, look, you know, I'm in line with my owners, with my sporting director, Thiago Pinto. This is not what we do here. Instead of asking for more money, more players, maybe he's thinking, hey, if I look like I'm on their side, maybe they're going to give me a new contract. You know what, Jose? I don't think this is going to work.